Really, that was your first go at it, remember? And it's, you know, you did much better over here, I think. I think we'll work on this side. So you want to repaint that red line, repaint the gold beside it, and then we're going to do a little blending, okay?
Okay.
There is a little bit of blue missing right here. If you go up close, you can see it. You might want to paint that too as well. Just get the right color on that edge so we're not looking at the imprimatur there.
Okay.
All right, looks good. Yeah, you just have a little bit to do in the lights, I guess, right? It's just burnt umber, right? Second, so it's just second door down. Doesn't matter if it's burnt umber. Now, when we get going with color, you know, you got to remember your color each time because we kind of add to it. But even if that happens, sometimes we just make a new color that's not related to what. That looks great. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh, I love it. I love when you know Mexico. You know what I loved about Mexico? Those hand-painted signs for the hairdressers and the barber shops and the, you know, the taco place, and they're just so cool.
This was a door.
Yeah, no, that reminds me of that kind of thing. Yeah, that's gonna be your next thing.
Yeah, right.
So what do you think? Are you gonna make more color? Or are you gonna start putting some of this stuff on? Okay. Let's start with this one here, whatever's written on the back. Just paint that entire area like a paint by number. So the dark is the thing to the left of it. So use a smaller brush for that area, because you know if you use a brush that size, you won't be able to control the shape because the shape is actually smaller than the brush here. And they're over here. There's more over here. Now later on when you're painting, this has to be flat. So that it's not. And you find it like the number. Numbers, the old masters have numbers for their paint. No, they just remember because they were painting every day. They remembered what they did, you know, the previous night. So for us, working 2 hours a week, it's much harder. So it's just a way of keeping control. But you know what? Even if I was painting every day, I would do this because I don't have to think as much about preparation. I suggest you take that and just run it down and leave a spot for it. Because your cartoon is your drawing, right? It tells you where everything goes. So we don't want to cover some of our drawing if we have the information that we need. So if you have dashed lines somewhere telling you where everything is, you can also take a caliper measurement, right? Right from the left over, so you know exactly how. And you need to put it on before you blend. You can't blend one color into nothing. So a blending is a blend between two colors, so you have to put the other color on. Stressful, that's too light, isn't it? Yeah, that's too light. That's not the color that was there. So you put this one on there? Yes, that's it. I mean, the right side, take a Q-tip because you've got a line here. I don't want to see a line there. Just do that so we don't see a line on the right side, okay? Just do the right side, and then I'm going to come in and do a little blend. Before you do that, you should make your edge more serrated. Yeah, so we want to do that. And first of all, we never allow our lightest color to be at the back. There's no way you're going to make those little spokes come up with that color there. We need the darker one, and we're going to run a yellower color all the way at the back. See this one? This should be all the way at the back, a good, say, that far. Yeah, that's the first thing you're going to do. Okay. We're not going to do any individual lines coming off, but we are going to make the edge like this. Yes. Yeah. It can look really tacky when you put these individual lines on. They have to be really soft. They have to look like soft things. So I've seen people, I had somebody the other day, and the girl had a fringe, and she put only lines, you know, fringe, right? Oh, they got hair, so I'm going to paint hair. Oh, it looks like a bunch of lines. They're all sharp. It must be soft. I mean, even the lines get to it, but I'm going to show you how to do it. I can't show you right away. So the first thing we're doing is getting rid of your really light edge so that your edge turns. So what we don't want is the look of a dog cut out of a magazine stuck on a dark background. Flat all the way around. And you'll have that if you have that sharp light edge. We never allow our lightest color to be on the edge, even if it looks focused, because they'd be out of focus in the... Okay, I'm going to come in. Okay, and I'm going to sit there. Okay, so you're going to put your hand down for some stability, and you're blending this red against the gold, right? And you have to have a rag in the hand. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when you're blending, you must have a rag in your hand. You can come over and see if you want, because you're going to be doing this at some point. I'll remind you how to do it when you're doing it. So here's two colors, right? And they're wet. And now I don't want them to be hard edge. This needs to be soft. So what I'm going to do is take a brush with no paint on it, and we do what are called knitted strokes, where we bring one color into the other. Some painters do little X's and things like this. I like to do these kind of, if it's a line like this, I like to do long oblong strokes. So they're like circles, but they're more longer circles rather than circles like this. And what you do is you start the drill above the surface, and then you slowly put it right in the middle between the two, and you wiggle it around, and you see which one's stronger, and the light is stronger. So what I'm going to do, rather than pulling the light into the dark, I'm going to grab the dark and I'm going to pull it into the light a little bit. See? And it's creating a little halftone between the two of them. It's becoming soft. After you do that a little bit, you have to wipe on a rag. Blending is done with a dry brush, but wet paint. So just below that with the wet paint, I'm going to grab the red and pull it slightly into the gold. Look how slowly I'm doing this. Look how carefully I'm doing it. Look how much time I'm spending in one area. This isn't a race. This is about slowing down and doing things carefully. The old masters were not, they didn't multitask. They did one thing and they did it very well, and everything they did was done like that. You get the idea how you're kind of softening it? So you're going to make your way coming down here. And after a while, this picks up so much paint, you put it down, you grab another blending brush and you continue. So it might take 3 brushes to get down there. And if your brush becomes too wet, you're painting, you're not blending, okay? Oh, and if you press too hard and you really spend a long time in one area and press too hard, you're back to the line, the original line, and you have to reapply the color and do it all over again. So you're going to go backwards if you press too hard. You're better off, we call it dancing on the surface, because you're barely touching the painting. You're on the top 100% of that layer, okay? It's an exercise in patience, all painting is. So you just, which one are you doing? I think just maybe a couple of steps on the yellow. I think the value is pretty good. Like you just go a little bit lighter and yellower, and that's the yellow. We should do both. More. See in this area here, put another kind of a line in the middle of that, and then we're done with that. Then what I'm going to do is have you prepare for putting the yellow ochre on. So we're going to do a little bit more with this color around that area. We're going to be doing some dry brushing to get rid of more of the imprimatura that is there. And, later on when you're actually going in and putting the lines, we have to shape the brushes correctly, use the line painting brush. But right now, you're chunking it up. So every now and again, stand back, good 6 feet, have a look at it, squint. Yeah. Everything's going well. Now, if you don't need those, take them off and just kind of block it. You actually have to kind of press quite hard and grind the paint into the surface to do it, okay? And then brush strokes are in all directions. If you do 2 or 3 brush strokes in the same direction, they're parallel lines, you will end up like, it'll look like striped wallpaper when you varnish it, even if you don't even notice it. So every time you load it up, one side, the other side, Go to an area, work it in. Work it really into the surface of the painting. Grind it in, and absolutely flat, no raised brush strokes. You'll know if you haven't ground it in because you'll see little brown bits shining through. You want this to be absolutely flat like that. Those are raised brush strokes. So they look like big lumps. We don't want that. They'll hold light like a shelf. So when we varnish your painting at the end, those